Was I wrong to keep the biggest secret of my life from my own son for over a year, even after his mother, my beloved wife, passed away? Tell me honestly, if you would have stayed silent, holding the key to a $$35 million inheritance, knowing that revealing it too soon could destroy the person you love most in the world. I held onto that secret like a live wire, watching my son struggle, grieve, and work himself ragged, all while knowing his life could change with a single sentence. I'm an old man now, and I've seen a lot, but nothing prepared me for the relief, the sheer overwhelming gratitude I felt when I realized why my silence was the greatest gift I could have ever given him. If I had told him a day sooner, the consequences would have been catastrophic. But to understand why I felt such a profound need to protect my son from instantaneous wealth, I have to take you back to the beginning, to the beautiful, tragic story of my late wife, Eleanor, and the dark shadow that has always followed my son, Alex. My wife, Eleanor, was the light of my life, a woman of immense grace, kindness, and sharp, unwavering wisdom. She was also, unknowingly to most, the daughter of a hugely successful, self-made tech pioneer who valued privacy above all else. When Eleanor and I met in college, she was just Eleanor, a brilliant art history major with a slight air of mystery. She never flaunted wealth, never spoke of her family fortune. We built our lives together slowly, based on love and hard work, raising our son, Alex, in a comfortable, but certainly not extravagant, middle-class home. We wanted Alex to value effort, not inheritance. We wanted him to understand the meaning of a dollar earned. This was always Eleanor's firm rule, and I respected it implicitly. She knew, better than anyone, the potential pitfalls of generational wealth. Alex, our son, is a good kid, or he was a good kid, but he carried a certain volatility. He's charismatic, like Eleanor, but also deeply sensitive and prone to emotional extremes. He's always struggled with direction. When he was younger, he showed a passion for music, but he'd throw himself into a project with maniacal intensity for a few months, only to crash and burn when the inevitable setback occurred. He'd burn bridges with bandmates, quit jobs impulsively, and generally live his life on a perpetual roller coaster of ambition and self-sabotage. Eleanor and I always walked a tightrope with him, trying to support his dreams without enabling his recklessness. We paid for his college, but when he dropped out in his junior year to chase a revolutionary new sound, we cut off the direct financial support. We said, "You want to pursue this, fine, but you do it on your own dime and with your own discipline." It was tough love, but necessary, we thought, to force him into maturity. Michael, Eleanor's father and Alex's grandfather, saw this instability too, but from a distance. Michael was a distant figure in Alex's life, partially due to his preference for privacy, but mostly because he was deeply skeptical of Alex's consistency. About 5 years ago, Eleanor's father passed away. It was a quiet affair, handled by layers of lawyers, as was his style. Eleanor inherited a substantial amount of assets, but more importantly, she was made the beneficiary of an enormous, complex, non-liquid trust. The bulk of his fortune, specifically ring-fenced to prevent immediate access. She told me about it then, in the quiet of our kitchen. She looked worried, not excited. She explained that the trust, worth approximately $$35 million, was structured in a way that the principal was locked until a specific date, specifically Alex's 35th birthday, and even then it would only be dispersed if he met certain, rigorous conditions of financial and professional stability. However, there was a clause. If Eleanor were to pass away before the disbursement, the principal would immediately transfer to me, as the executor and surviving spouse, to be held in trust for Alex, but with full discretion over the timing and manner of the eventual distribution. Elinor told me, I don't want Alex to ever know about this while I'm alive, or even immediately after I'm gone. That kind of money, given to him now, would be a bomb in his life. He needs to find his footing, his purpose, before he finds the wealth. Promise me you will protect him from it. I promised her, solemnly. It was a burden, a secret of unimaginable weight. But it was her final, wise request to protect our son from himself. Then, last year, tragedy struck. Elinor was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. The illness progressed rapidly, a devastating, cruel twist of fate. I spent every moment I could by her side, watching her fade, feeling my world crack. Alex, to his credit, was devoted. He put his unreliable life on pause, came home, and helped care for his mother. But even in his devotion, I saw the volatile edges. He was stressed, deeply emotional, and increasingly manic in his attempts to find miracle cures or financial solutions. He was working a terrible retail job part-time to pay his meager rent. His music career completely stalled. He was struggling, truly struggling, but he was also showing up. When Elinor passed away peacefully at home, the grief that enveloped our small family was suffocating. I held the secret of the trust fund close, a heavy lead weight in my gut, even as I watched Alex battle with financial stress on top of his bereavement. He was worried about funeral costs, about helping me with the small mortgage on our house, not knowing that his mother had quietly paid off the mortgage years ago with a small amount of liquid funds from the trust just to ensure my security. The following year was brutal. Alex moved back into our house to save money, took on 2 minimum wage jobs, and sank into a deep, painful depression that worried me constantly. He was working 18-hour days, exhausted, losing weight, but he was doing it. He was disciplined. He was showing responsibility. He was, for the first time in his adult life, consistently working and saving, not out of passion, but out of necessity and grief-fueled duty. He was looking after me too, making sure I ate, paying for groceries. It was an incredibly hard, formative year for him, but I saw something fundamental changing. The manic energy was replaced by grit. The impulse was replaced by patience. He was forging an identity defined by hard work and resilience, rather than easy enthusiasm. Meanwhile, a viper entered the picture. My niece, Clara, Elinor's side of the family, and her husband, David, a pair of social climbers who always felt entitled to a piece of Elinor's legacy, started circling. They knew Elinor had some inheritance, but they didn't know the size of the trust or my discretionary power. They began calling me constantly, offering help with the estate, their questions thinly veiled attempts to extract information. They'd constantly belittle Alex's work ethic, asking me, "Isn't it time Alex got a real job, uncle? He could at least sell the house and invest the proceeds properly." They were testing the waters, trying to establish a foothold before they assumed the estate would be divided. It infuriated me, but it reinforced Elinor's wisdom. Wealth attracts vultures. So that's the situation I was in, and I had to make a choice. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have broken your promise to Elinor and relieved Alex's suffering instantly, giving him the $$35 million? Or would you have kept silent, watching him struggle, knowing that the struggle itself was the necessary crucible for his character? I truly want to know what you think. The breaking point didn't come from Alex, but from Clara and David. About 13 months after Eleanor's death, I hosted a small memorial dinner for close family. Clara and David were there, dripping false sympathy. As Alex was in the kitchen, washing dishes after his grueling 12-hour shift at the warehouse, David cornered me in the study. He leaned in conspiratorially. "Look, Uncle," he said, oozing false concern, "Alex is obviously struggling. He's depressed, he's working those garbage jobs, it's embarrassing. He needs money to get back on his feet. We're thinking, as part of the family, we should really push you to sell the house. That capital could save him. And frankly, Clara and I could manage the investment portfolio for him. We've got connections." The audacity took my breath away. He wasn't just offering advice. He was asserting control over Alex's finances and demanding the liquidation of my home. I saw the pure, predatory entitlement in his eyes. That night, as David and Clara were leaving, David stopped Alex by the door. "Tough break, buddy," he said, clapping Alex condescendingly on the shoulder. "But you know, you're the man now, time to step up. Maybe take out a second mortgage on this place to fund a real career move instead of flipping burgers." It was the final straw. David's sneering remark, meant to humiliate Alex, instead ignited a fire in my son. Alex, tired, worn thin, but now possessing the steely resilience forged over a year of hardship, simply looked David dead in the eye and said, "Thanks for the advice, David, but I don't need a mortgage, and I definitely don't need your help. I'll stick to earning my own way." He didn't shout, he didn't melt down. He simply dismissed David with quiet, secure confidence, the same confidence I had prayed for him to find for years. The next morning, I watched Alex get ready for his early shift. He looked tired but focused. He kissed me goodbye, saying he'd pick up takeout on the way home, and headed out the door. The moment that door closed, I knew. Eleanor's test had been passed. Alex was finally, fundamentally, ready. He had found his footing, his purpose, and most importantly, his inner strength, independent of any wealth. I called him instantly. "Alex, come back inside. We need to talk, now." He rushed back, thinking something was wrong with my health. I sat him down in the quiet living room, the same room where Eleanor and I had made our solemn promise. I didn't mince words. I told him everything, about the trust, about Michael, about the sum, and about his mother's wish for him to earn his stability first. I handed him the official legal documents, detailing the transfer of the $$35 million principal into his name, effective immediately, under my discretionary power. Alex didn't react with the wild elation I had always feared. He didn't jump up or start planning a shopping spree. He simply sat there, quiet, reading the number $$35, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, his face stunned into stillness. Tears welled up in his eyes, not of greed, but of profound understanding. "Mom," she knew, he whispered, tracing the legal text. She knew I would need this lesson more than the money. He looked at me, his eyes full of gratitude, not just for the money, but for my silence. He said, "Dad, thank you. Thank you for making me work. Thank you for making me stand up to David on my own. If you had told me a year ago, I would have blown it all in a month and blamed the world for my problems." The change in Alex was immediate and mature. He didn't quit his jobs. Instead, he worked a few more weeks, tied up his loose ends professionally, and then, using a small fraction of the funds, he didn't buy a sports car or a mansion. He set up a foundation to provide grants and mentorship to young, struggling artists who were trying to balance their passion with the realities of paying rent. He focused his manic energy not on self-sabotage, but on creating the stable structure he himself had lacked. He hired financial advisors, managed the money with obsessive caution, and bought me a beautiful, completely debt-free seaside cottage, not to replace the old home, but as a place for us to start new memories. As for the vultures, Clara and David, Alex sent them a certified letter via his new legal team, informing them that he had taken possession of the entire estate and instructing them to cease all contact with me. When David tried to call, shouting about being cut out, Alex, the former retail worker, calmly informed him that his mother's inheritance was not a communal asset, and that neither of them were designated beneficiaries. He delivered the kind of cool, legal finality that would have made his corporate lawyer grandfather proud. The silence from that side of the family has been golden. I lost my wife, but by honoring her wisdom and staying silent during Alex's hardest year, I watched my son grow into the man she always knew he could be. The $$35 million didn't define him, his struggle did. The money simply became a tool for the disciplined, good man he had become. I wasn't wrong to stay silent, I was right. It wasn't about the money, it was about the man, so that's my story. It's a testament to the power of tough love and the wisdom of a mother who loved her son enough to let him struggle. If you were on my side and agree that struggle is sometimes the greatest inheritance, please like this video. Subscribe for more stories that prove money isn't everything, and share your final thoughts on Alex's transformation in the comments section below. I want to hear what you think. I'll see you all in the next story.